Hello out there, David Duford here. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I believe we are now officially live on YouTube. Thanks so much, guys, for being here. Today, I'm doing a live interview with Medicare agent, trainer, and personal producer, Luis Moreno. Say hello today, Maurice.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Thanks for coming on. So our topic for today, I got my audio on.
Okay.
My topic for today is how to sell Medicare Advantage, or better yet, why final expense agents in particular should consider selling Medicare Advantage. And really, I guess the way we could start about it, Luis, if you want to introduce yourself and kind of what you do, and then we'll start going into some questions.
Yeah, no problem, man. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas. I've been doing Medicare since 2001. I got licensed in 99 and started off as a captive agent with the Mutual of Omaha doing med subs. And that worked out great for a good while. And then I've been doing Medicare since then. And I do a good mixture of MA and med sub, but primarily Medicare Advantage. And my clientele tend to go that route. So I've been at it for a while. And now I'm at a point where I'm still producing, but I'm getting a little more enjoyment out of helping other agents produce.
Great.
And
yeah.
Make we're at now.
Make that next leap to duplicating what you've learned to be very successful. So one of the big pushes I'm doing in my agency, and the reason I'm having you on here, Luis, is that I think for some agents out there, they need to think more beyond just final expense. I wouldn't say out the gate right away, but if you've had experience, you've sold some final expense, I think it's a really good opportunity to start looking into the Medicare Advantage world. And Luis, maybe you could tell us why it's a great opportunity for final expense agents.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is. Number one, I look at it two ways. I'm not a big FE guy, but I do write some FE. And I love the upfront money on final expense. Problem is that after you make that initial amount of change, then after that, it's pretty much game over. I mean, you're going to get a small amount afterwards, but it's nothing significant. So I use FE as some upfront. Now, a lot of agents that are out there that are strong FE guys, one of the things that I'm noticing from them is the game never ends. In other words, they have to, if they don't work next month, they're not going to draw a paycheck other than that small renewal from their past business. And so these guys can never relax. It is a constant hustle. So now that we've brought Medicare Advantage into the picture, these guys don't have to do anything different. They can continue with their same lead sources. They don't have to invest in anything else other than working what they're doing right now. They can continue with the same leads. They can work their existing book. And all they're going to be doing now is offering Medicare Advantage to those customers. And what we're seeing with the agents that we've trained, and we've got some great success stories, but what we're seeing is it's elevating the status of that final expense agent now that he's able to come into the picture and talk to them about their health care, which is something that seniors want to talk about. They want to make sure that they're getting everything that's entitled to them. And that is just a topic that they want to talk about. So it is a heck of a lot easier for what I'm seeing to walk in the door and say, hey, I want to talk to you about Medicare, and then bring in the final expense. And it's working for our agents right now. And
yeah, so many different ways we could go kind of cover here, Luis. You mentioned a lot of things, man, like really important concepts. And again, the key thing I want to think and keep in mind here is that we're talking about agents already successfully selling final expense.
Right.
First of all, the hamster wheel effect. You know, I used to hear this all the time from Christopher Westfall, who does Medicare supplements, and there is an element of truth to it. There is a grind in any kind of life insurance based model to where if you're not saving money up, the moment you take some time off or want to take your foot off the gas pedal, your income drops substantially. And that's just the nature of how the business is. The beautiful thing about this, just like you said, is that, and the reason we're targeting final expense agents specifically for this type of strategy is because we're literally talking to the same people we've always talked to. It's the same group of people. Final expense agents know how they think, they know how they live. They know all of their they get that marketplace. And so it makes the transition that's otherwise hard to cross-sell and do different products tremendously, I want to say easier, but simpler. So it's great. And then the last thing I was going to say, final expense agents, the nice thing about them is they know how to sell. Okay. Medicare Advantage. I mean, it's
they're not even selling that.
Yeah.
It's not a sellable product.
Yeah, you're not even taking their money. Whereas with life insurance, if you think about it, we're asking these people who are world-class procrastinators to buy an insurance policy and never get any benefit immediately from it. There's no immediate gratification. Sure, there's benefit and it's there for your family, but they got to die to get it, I guess you could say. But with Medicare, everybody uses Medicare, at least the market that we target. They understand concerns about co-pays, deductibles, quality of care. And so and they change every single year, right? So it's a much more dynamic product, but it allows you to get that many more appointments and talk, especially when you target your existing clients. So I was hoping you could kind of expand on that, Luis. What are you seeing as far as success goes? I've talked to some agents who they start off working their existing book of business. Some of them do our flagship direct mail or Facebook lead program. Can you kind of detail what you've seen as being kind of the best practice of getting Medicare Advantage business?
I can. Well, I'm in addition to what you were saying right now about how FE agents already know how to sell. These guys are already in these customers or these potential prospects' homes. And this group of people that we're setting Medicare Advantage, they're not over the telephone type of people. They're not email kind of people, or let me send you the app and let's do everything electronically. No. Yeah, you'll find 1 out of 10, but most of these people want to sit face to face. And this is where it is, I guess it's the bread and butter, or it's the gravy of these FE guys. They are sitting face to face with these customers. So you're already in a natural environment. So that's a big plus. Okay. Now, as far as what you mentioned right now, success stories. So usually when I go and I talk to agents, I like to talk to them about the money. Show me the money. Okay, what kind of money? And then we can talk about some of the agents that are really doing well. What we are putting to agents out there. And I used to think that if an agent wrote 200 policies, that guy was a superstar.
And that's what you and I talked last year. It's a conservative number. Just 200 could be pretty dramatic in 5 years.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man, that number is out the door now. I mean, now we're looking at 400 to 500 in a year. Our average agent that we train, as long as they maintain their same FE work ethic, not the Medicare work ethic, the FE work ethic. Right. I'll tell you what, Medicare agents are lazy, man. I'll tell you, man, I'm a good example. You come out of your hole during AEP, you sell a ton, and then you go back into the hole. Okay?
Right.
All right. That's a typical Medicare guy. They maintain their book and they do they do whatever they're going to do after that. I have a P&C agency. So yeah, I got on my hole. I do a ton of work. I get back in the hole and I recycle back to P&C. But as long as these guys maintain their same FE work ethic, they can writing 40 policies in 1 month. That's 10 a week, 2 a day is extremely doable. We've got a guy, the number 1 guy with Humana, doing between 60 to 80 a month. Now, this is not during AEP. They're going to think, oh, it's because it was AEP. No. He did over 200 during AEP. Okay. This is monthly during lock-in. And it's just a matter of getting in front of the right people. So it's doable.
Quickly explain, just for those who are newer to Medicare Advantage, you've talked in some insurance lingo, AEP, off-season. Can you give us a quick explanation of the differences and why the amount of business this guy is writing is hugely substantial?
I can. Okay. Yes. I get into I think everybody knows Medicare. So AEP is a time of the year. It's the last quarter of the year. And it's from October 15th to December the 7th, where everybody can enroll or make a change on their Medicare. I'm talking about Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans. So you can make changes to your plan during the year. And also this is the time where they turn on the TV, it's Medicare advertisements all day long. Now, when December 7th hits, it shuts down. Now, the first quarter of the year, which this is exciting for agents who are considering coming in, and these guys thinking, well, man, I missed the boat. I'm going to work on my certifications in the summer and then try to, hop on that boat when it takes off again. No. That's just one part of the entire selling season. Okay. Right. We now have what's called OEP, and we're in the second season of OEP. So AEP is annual enrollment, and then the OEP is the open enrollment period. And what this period is, it allows Medicare beneficiaries to make one more change. Now, they cannot enroll if they're not in, but they can do a lateral change. Right. They can go from one plan to another, or they can downgrade. They can go from a Medicare Advantage to a prescription drug plan. And the only time we see that happening is when they're deciding to get into a Medicare supplement. Right. So that MedSup may be fully underwritten. You wait for that to get issued. It gets issued. Then you write that PDP, which is a prescription drug plan, to make a package. Right. So that period started January 1, and it ends at the end of March. So it's a 3-month period. Now you're thinking, well, I won't get certified in time. Now what am I going to do? No, the game is not over. So first quarter out the door. This leaves second quarter. This leaves third quarter. So during that time frame, there are 4 ways to sell during that time period. Number 1 is pretty obvious. Somebody's turning 65. Okay. In some areas of the country, you may have what's called a chronic plan. And that is where a Medicare beneficiary has a specific condition. In my area, it's diabetes. Okay, they're diabetics. They may qualify for a chronic plan. And then you have the Medis. We call these are people that have Medicare and Medicaid, low-income people, final expense prospects. Most of these guys are marketing sales guys. Okay, so you have the Medis. You can write those all year long. And then there's one more that's a little bit elusive. Okay, you got to do a little bit of research. And we teach our agents how to do this. And it's very, very simple. But if a prospect makes a little bit too much money for Medicaid, they can qualify for a federal program called LIS, Low Income Subsidy, which gives them help with their prescription drug plans. That right there allows you to write business. Yep. But there's not a card that they have. There's not anything on their current carrier card that identifies them that they have this. So you've got to do a little bit of research to make sure that they've got it. And it's literally as easy as making a phone call, 2 or 3 minutes, and you'll find out.
So how, I was talking to an agent out of Colorado the other day, and she said something about Medicare says there's 50,000 dual eligibles that are out there that haven't been helped. Does that sound accurate? It seems like a huge market.
I would tell you, instead of verifying that number, what I can tell you, because I don't know. Yeah, but sure. There are a ton of people that are Medicare beneficiaries that are Medicare and Medicaid, but they're enrolled in the wrong plan. Right. They didn't know better. They may have rolled over the phone, or what I see a lot is they enrolled in a regular core plan and then later acquired or qualified for Medicaid, but they never made the change to a new plan. So they're in a plan that doesn't have a ton of benefits like they should be entitled to, and they're paying copays, and they shouldn't be paying copays. But it's a matter of being in those households and doing a little bit of research and finding out if they're in the right plan. But it does happen a lot. I would say maybe 1 out of 4, maybe 1 out of 6. When I run into agents, and those are so easy. It's a no-brainer. Yeah. Stay with us. Sounds like you're stealing candy from a baby, man. Yeah, we're just going to move you. We're going to keep your same carrier. We're just going to move you to a different plan. It's got all these extras. Yeah. And maybe you're paying a premium. We're going to remove the premium. And all these copays that you're paying, I'm going to do away with them. You're a hero. Yeah. An instant hero. Now, here's the other statistic on this one. Let's assume that they actually did the work and got Medicaid or LIS. 1 out of 4 that qualifies for LIS. No, I take that back. Yeah, 1 out of 4 is in LIS. The other 3 don't even know that they should be in LIS, and they're not enrolled.
Wow.
Okay, I don't know. So 75% of these guys that I run, at least what I'm running into, have the income to qualify for low income subsidy, but they're not enrolled. And I would tell you, it takes me 5 minutes to do an app online. I got to wait about 2 to 3 weeks for them to get the result.
No underwriting health wise, right? For MA plans.
There's one health question, and that's end stage renal. If they're on dialysis, you don't do anything, you walk away. But that's it. That's it. So the environment that we're in, and we're at the start of this environment, okay, of this time in history where we're having so many seniors turn 65. We're at the beginning of a gold rush. And here's the other deal. Yeah. You got a lot of agents that are going out. They're retiring too. Mm-hmm. So there is a shortage of agents. And I will tell you, Medicare.gov, it's not the best site to navigate. And so these guys that want to do it on their own, it is not that easy. So they need us agents out there. So for those that are in defense and thinking, well, there's not a lot of money. We'll talk about the money here a little bit.
Yeah.
But if they think that there's not a lot of opportunity, we got to set them straight, because we're in a point now in history where there's between 10 to 12,000 seniors a day turning 65. And man, that's some serious numbers and some serious money to be made.
And one of the I believe one of the biggest med sup producers I know has just a day's worth out of the year of Medicare supplement policies, right? So I mean, imagine that, like that's a drop in the bucket, because it's an annual change and it's growing. And again, if you look at the numbers, guys, you should see this as far as being a due diligence thing. If you look from 2020 to 2040, the senior population will double. It will double. Okay. If you look at the average insurance agent, just like Louis said, 59, maybe 60, you think they're going to be around in 20 years? Mm-mm. No. You didn't get into insurance to like work till you die. Usually you get into insurance because you want a lifestyle along with a decent income. So there is going to be, I believe, within an ever increasing pool of applicants, a decreasing best case level amount of agents, but there's going to be significant attrition. And what does that mean? That means it means the agents that are in the business are going to have a bigger market share. There's going to be a bigger market opportunity. So
less competition.
Less competition, right. And so it's very exciting.
And there's plenty to go around. I mean, you just got to get yourself in front of seniors. And guess what FE guys are doing? They're sitting in front of seniors all day long. It is a natural scenario for them.
How many final expense prospects did you say that you think would be eligible? Like, let's take an agent that's working as final expense leads or as clientele. What is the percentage of those people that would fit some of these criteria of qualifying off season for a plan?
Oh, I think if you're working the lower income demographic, and of course they're over 65. I mean, they're going to be on Medicare. I mean, that's a given. And they're going to be utilizing Medicare. A lot of times these guys enroll in a plan that it's the first one who knocks on the door. Per se, it may be on, they just saw an ad on the paper or TV, and they just signed up. And so did they research the plan? Did they check their doctors? Did they check their meds? Probably not.
Right.
Okay. They didn't know they needed to do that. They just figured they would enroll and they're good. And so I would say that if they're working from the agents that we've trained, I would say that you're going to strike gold 50% of the time. If you visit with 6 people in a day, you should be writing 3.
It's just that much business out there.
And that's average. And I'll tell you, and that's what our number one guy is doing. It's just he's seeing about 8 people a day. Mm-hmm. He's just pushing the numbers. And so he's writing 3 or 4 a day. And it's easy for him to write 15 or 20 in a week.
And it's very much like, I mean, you would agree with me, this system that we have has the same capability to scale, like with final expense. With final expense, I can teach a guy to run 35, 40 appointments a week. It sounds crazy when you start, but it's possible. Almost sounds like this is kind of the same kind of like factory line, rinse and repeat process. All you need is enough leads, appointments, and the right carriers.
That's the toughest part of the job, is sitting in front of people. And that is it. If you got that under control, I will tell you, and this is one of our unique, I would say the value proposition that we've got as an entity for our agents to sign up with us and work with us, is we do one thing different that nobody else does. First of all, I'll tell you, a lot of these guys are teaching off theory. They're not in the Medicare game. They got no experience. They're going off nothing but theory. And I look at it as, you know, I'm ex-military, but I want somebody teaching me who was actually in battle, not some guy who learned from, you know, I'm sure those Navy SEALs out there, they're not learning from somebody who wasn't in battle before. And so I'm taking that kind of approach with training our agents. We're in the field every single day. We know the problems. Now, we may not know what's best in your area because these plans are so specific, but we're selling agents, me and my partner, the trainer. Now, the biggest thing that we bring to the table, we tell our agents that are signing up with us, is get 10 appointments set up for us. We will fly to you on our dime.
Yep.
Okay, our entity, us, we're taking care of that.
Right.
We'll fly on our dime. We'll come train you. Now, let's say I'm coming to see you, David. You're the guy. You've got 10 appointments. We're going to hook up in the morning, and I'm going to run the morning appointments for you. You're going to do the intro. You're going to get me in the door, and we're just going to have a conversation. And I will tell you, before we walk into that first appointment, I'm going to tell you, I usually tell the agents, what you should be thinking in your mind after I get done with my appointment is, Luis, you got to be kidding me. It's that easy. That's all.
Right.
And I'm like,
that's a response I've seen. I remember Adam saying that too.
Yeah, it goes, there's got to be more to it. I'm like, there really isn't. And so usually I will run the appointments in the morning. And as we get to the afternoon after lunch, I will tell the agent, hey, David, dude, I'm going to be in the background. I'm going to be screwing around with my phone, texting, doing whatever, but you're going to run. I will hop in if you mess up or if you get stuck.
Right.
But by the afternoon, you've got it. You've got this thing going. And so in one day, we can pretty much get that agent where he's competent enough to make the presentations.
And he's writing all the business, right?
Oh, even the ones I do in the morning, they're being written under that agency.
You're going to get paid.
I'm only licensed in Texas. I mean, even the agents I see here, they get written in their agent code. So they're making money already. Now, the other value proposition, I guess maybe this is the third one, is most entities out there, they'll get your contracts, they'll get you signed on, and then here's some videos, go watch the videos and good luck. Okay. Well, we've got videos too, but we're not just taking that approach. Right. After we've gone to your backyard and helped you with those sales, from that point forward, we're your lifeline. We're your phone a friend. Now, we don't expect calls, basic calls, but we expect, hey, I'm in a tough scenario. What do I do here? Or how do I handle this scenario? And so between me and my partner, we're answering calls all day long from agents and being their lifeline and helping them write business, because we don't make any money unless they sell. And I will tell you, that's hard to find out there in an indie. It is really hard. And that's what we're coming to the table with. And that's why our agents, the ones that are writing and decide to jump on board, if they're going to do 40 a month, I mean, that's not unusual. I'm going to say that's a little bit above average.
Yeah. So I got a comment. I got a comment here from Dennis Jordan. He says, my decision to join insurance is strictly monetary. So with that said, you said you're going to expand on kind of the income earning potential.
Show me the money.
Production. Kind of go into detail about how the Medicare Advantage business model complements selling final expense and what kind of benefits it provides that final expense doesn't.
I can, man, most definitely. So the numbers are pretty simple. Okay. If you have 100 policies, well, first of all, let me tell you, renewals or commissions are lifetime. As long as those customers are yours, you're going to continue receiving your renewals. Now, every 100 policies that you have, you've created a $25,000 a year pension for yourself. So if you've got 400 policies, you've got $100,000 a year in renewals. This is wake up money. This is not, I got to go earn it kind of money. This is, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to stay in my PJs and watch TV and that's it. you've got that $100,000 a year coming in. So you can just kind of do your math. You want 200,000? Well, you got to have 800 policies under your belt. It's that easy. Now, all that money is what we consider it as earned, which is a beautiful thing in Medicare. Okay. You only get advanced commissions normally when they turn 65. Other than that, you're receiving as earned checks. But remember, 100 policies gets you $25,000 in renewal income for the rest of your life, as long as they remain your customer.
Right.
That's it. I mean, there's nothing more.
And
one more thing, David, we get raises, man.
How do you mean raises?
We get raises. Yeah, we keep those same customers every year. Every year they've increased the new business commission and they've increased the renewal commission.
Yeah.
And so can't complain about that.
Absolutely. Well, you know, one thing I'll preach on here is, again, I talked about it earlier, but it's worth mentioning. The passive income earning opportunity is substantial. To me, in my business, the way I make it is by recruiting, by talking to you guys, some of you choosing to work with me, and then helping you become top producers. I earn a passive, or I should say a semi-passive income. I can stop taking phone calls for a short period of time before I have to, could experience, consequences. And the thing I've realized is that at this stage in my life, would rather have $1 of passive income than $5 of active income. If I had to work 120 hours a week to make that, I would never do it, because I would lose out on what I've gained through this passive income building through agencies. So it doesn't matter if it's agency or Medicare Advantage. The point is that you buy the most valuable asset that you have, which is your time. Yeah, you got to put the time up front. Yeah, you've got to write business. You got to stay consistent, certainly. But there comes a point, as I've discovered, I have more time with my spouse. I have more time with my kids. I have activities outside of work that I do now that I didn't when I was in the grind mode. So, and stuff like that makes this business, I think it's just extremely lucrative, promising, and fun. And I know you know it exactly. I mean, we've got a guy in Detroit who wrote 1,000 MA plans last year, probably going to do it again this year. And I don't know if 2,000 is going to make him happy.
He may have too much money, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a good problem to have.
Let's go work more. So,
well, let me tell you two things. I'm going to tell these agents that are, money is great. It comes in. A couple of things. Seniors don't like to change. So,
right.
That's also a good thing for us. Okay. We get a customer, they're going to stay with us for a good while. Okay. The income potential, you do the math on that one. You got every 100 is 25,000. Okay. Now, the good thing about this, and I've had agents ask me, how much service work is involved with a book of business like this? And I will tell you, first of all, you're not collecting any money. So what about all these canceled for non-payment type of things? You don't have to worry about that. It's a great thing in this business. Most of the plans don't require a premium. And if they do, there are some PPLs that will have a premium, $15, and it comes out of their Social Security check before anything gets paid out. So that's not going to happen. As far as service work, there's hardly any. I mean, you can be a one-man shop and have 1,000 policies under your belt, and not have to worry too much about service.
A couple of comments here from the chat. Formularies are key with many replacements. Definitely sure that is the case. Do not learn the client. Do not hurt the client. Learn the formularies. Definitely believe that. Raphael says, I'm half a year into selling Medicare Advantage, and I already have a book of 100 plus.
That's good.
About service. Yeah, that's great.
He's going to be a 200 a year guy. That's good.
Yeah. Hopefully more, Raphael, right?
Ramp it up
more.
Right.
Because they're out there waiting.
That guy that said the formularies, 100% agree with him. Part of what we show them is they have this plan, or like, let me offer you this one. No. There's some work that's involved when you are doing a flip like that. And so we teach our agents, two things you got to check on: all the docs, all the specialists, their medical coverage, and then you also got to check the formularies. You know, if everything lines up, let's rock and roll. But if it doesn't line up, you keep them where they're at.
Right. So got a comment here from Valoria Real Estate Home Advocate. How you doing? Thanks for your question. By the way, if you have questions, feel free to post them. Now's a good time since we're going to wrap this thing up here soon. A question is, what are the upfront commission per client? It's going to depend on the scenario. Luis, do you want to explain?
Yes, the upfront commissions, if they are new to Medicare, okay, it's $510 for a new piece of business. After they've stayed with you for 12 months, on the 13th month, you're going to earn half of that, $255 a year. And you will get that as earned, which means you're going to get it in monthly increments. So every single month, you're going to get $21 in change for that customer. So at the end of those 12 months, you would have accumulated $255 for that one customer.
Right. Right. So yeah, it just depends on the kind of strategy you're using to write business. Yes, what you'll find is the big upside potential in this business is on the renewal side, of course. That's what you have to keep your eyes on the prize for and work for many years to develop that book to make it happen. So yeah, it's great. Any last thoughts, Luis, as we wrap this up? Anything you want to mention we haven't hit on?
You know what? The one thing that I wanted to hit on is Hispanics. I'm Hispanic, speak Spanish fluently. For the agents out there that are selling FE, that are Spanish speaking, you've got a little bit of an extra edge if you speak Spanish. The Hispanic community is huge. And I will tell you, if you can get in the door with them, awesome. I mean, it's just a little bit, not much. You know, I'm not talking about like you have a huge advantage over somebody who doesn't, but you have a little bit of an advantage if you can speak Spanish. So, and the other groups that can speak the other languages, you can get with it with the Vietnamese people. I mean, those guys are so tight and they help each other so much. So having that additional secondary language, if you've got that and you're not doing Medicare, you're really missing out.
Yeah, no doubt. It's just, like you said, it's a barrier to entry. Man, I think I'm a good agent, but hell, I just speak English. So if I run across a Spanish speaking person, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So you definitely want to leverage that.
It helps.
Advantage. So Gabriel, I'll answer that. He asked, how do we contact Luis if we'd like to work with him? So there's a link that I posted above. I'm going to repost it again now. This takes you to my overall insurance sales and marketing overview page. If you click through that, you'll see where it says Medicare Advantage. And when you click on that, there's about 3, 4, or 5 videos that are really in depth. In fact, there's like an 1.5-hour video Luis and I did last year. It goes over a lot of these same questions in detail and really just describes how our system works. And we'll give you a good idea of why it's a benefit and see if it makes sense for you to join. Last thing I'll mention, Luis, we do have a lead subsidy program. I think this is really important to mention. We have the ability, for the most productive agents, to literally cover your entire cost of your leads. Even if you don't hit the top echelon, there are tiers below that will allow you to reduce your cost of lead generation. There are agents who are paying 60% less than the retail price because they're closing 1/4 of their leads in the business. And this is available for direct mail and then for Facebook leads. Why are we doing this? Hopefully it's clear now. We're extremely bullish on the Medicare market. It is, we believe, in its infancy. It's relatively untapped, and we're willing to basically buy your way in the door for the most productive agents in order to get and collect that business. And we're super excited and interested. So yeah, apparently there's like 5 people watching from San Antonio in here, Luis. So if you get some phone calls here.
There you go, man. There you go. And I'll tell you, David, there's 2 things, man. What you just said is great. We are playing the long game. It is not cheap to get me or my partner to go fly wherever you're at, spend a couple of nights out there. We lose our production and we get taken care of. And so we're playing the long game. We're investing a lot into the agents that buy on and join us. And I think the biggest point to make here, and maybe we can finish off with this, David.
Sure.
Is for those agents that are sitting on the fence. Should I do this? Should I not? I don't want to disrupt my FE business. Guys, jump on it. You're not going to disrupt In fact, I've seen it helps you. It's taking you from the salesman kind of guy to a consultant. You know, you're valued a little bit more in the eyes of these potential insureds. So jumping on board, it doesn't take a lot. We'll help you. We'll show you how to get your certifications done so that you get the ready to sell letters and you can jump on board. And it is not too late. You just missed AEP, but we got OEP, and then we've got the other 2 quarters. And then guess what? We're back to a new AEP again.
Right.
And
right.
So don't feel that you missed a boat.
Luis, thank you for taking time out of your day to help us explain the Medicare Advantage opportunity. And I urge anybody out there who's interested in this, look in the chat. I'm going to repost again the recruiting page you can go to. Okay. And then also check the description box of this video recording, and you'll see the link there if you, for some reason you can't see it on the chat. So thank you guys for watching. And Luis, thanks for your time.
You're welcome, man. We look forward. I'll do it again.
All right. Well, take care.
All right.
See ya.
All right, man. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.